I'm here with the, can I call you a test guru?
You can call me anything you like, I guess, but nobody is obliged to believe it.
Here we are in the Netherlands. Let's find the train to The Hague. I'm here with the guru, Michael Bolton. I guess we met for the first time in 2010 or 9.
Something like that, yeah, about 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago on a course called Rapid Software Testing that you gave in Helsinki, and it was so much fun. I have to thank you because it literally changed my professional life and my personal life as well. And I've always wanted to say thank you, so this is like a public thank you for now.
That's really lovely.
Yeah, and I've been like working as an entrepreneur for like 13 years in testing, and that's something that I feel like transformed the business as well. So thanks, man.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you will remember the other day when I saw you, I immediately said Antti without reference to the badge because the badges often go backwards. But I was saying this in a conference talk today.
Cool.
I remember your very sneaky move in one of the exercises that we did.
I cheated a lot.
He cheated,
yeah,
and it was one of the most wonderful little discoveries. And in fact, not very many people made that same discovery with that exercise over the years. Basically,
cool.
He exposed the fact that the source code to the exercise is secretly available to those who have the skills and the initiative to look for it, and so that was.
Yeah, I have a secret. Cool. There was a co-worker or co-pilot with me on the act of cheating. Pekka Marjamäki was part of my team.
We did it together.
Both? Yeah, oh, God. We did it together. No. Yeah, exactly.
No wonder. Yeah. By the way, cheating. When we talk about cheating in the rapid software testing class, cheating is responsible and ethical technical behavior, right?
For a tester.
For a tester. And we're not talking about malice as such, but we do talk about cheating in the sense that a school would think about cheating, right? I mean, in school, you're not supposed to look at the other kids' papers.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to get help from the other kids. You're not supposed to look stuff up in the book. You're not supposed to, break the rules and so on. Well, as a tester, not to do so is like bordering on professionally irresponsible. So we try to encourage people that we're not rule followers. We're investigators, and we're
like the Sherlock Holmes, or
like the Sherlock Holmes, but we're a little bit like those cops in the cop shows, the ones who are always like really on the border of getting into disciplinary trouble, sometimes.
I like to call it Batman testing because Batman is like sometimes on the dark side as well. The police force is actually following him as well. So Batman testing.
Batman testing, right? Well, I've not talked to Alan about this, Alan Richardson. He
the evil tester who visited us before.
Right. I'm not entirely comfortable with evil tester. Except in the sense of evil as mischief. Like he's not actually evil; he's impish, and his cartoon is.
He's
like
actually
that, right?
a great guy.
Oh,
he's a lovely person.
Awesome, a tremendous person, and a very, very sharp guy. But the mischievousness, the sort of natural tendency of a good tester to disturb things. I think it was Francis Bacon who said, early scientist, who said that if we want to understand something, we have to vex nature. He said we have to distort things and shake things up a bit, and treat that as a kind of art. And that's what you guys were doing in that class, for sure. Just shaking the table a little bit and jiggling the landscape.
So today you talked about the Rapid Software Testing course 4.0, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So I've always wanted to ask you this. What's the origin story of the whole course? Because I've taken it, guess what, guys? Taken it 3 times already, and I was planning on doing it for the 4th time. So
you would be the first to do it 4 times.
Yeah, so I want to be the first one. I'll probably do it next year,
twice
2019.
Once with me, is that right?
Once with James and twice with you.
Twice.
We met in Brighton the last time in the test bash. So,
Right.
So I always wanted to ask you about the origin story. How did it like emerge, or how did you create it?
The class started with James in, I think it was 1999. He started a class called Heuristic Risk-Based Testing.
Cool. It's almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's 20 years now.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think that's right. And of course, heuristic risk-based testing. Boy, there's something for the marketers, eh?
Yeah.
The brand consultants that he had working for him at the time. But he eventually, I'm not sure when he started calling it rapid software testing. 2001, 2002, something like that.
It emerged.
It emerged,
somehow.
right?
Yeah.
Because we wanted something a little snappier. And I met James in May, I think, of 2001.
Cool.
We had interactions with each other through email. We met once or twice at the workshops on teaching software testing, which Kem Kainer had invited me to. James had been doing those with Kem for a couple of years. And then we had... I got this funny email from James. And she said, "Why aren't you more famous?" And I
well, you were back then.
I wasn't, but my answer was, lazy, I guess. And I said, "I've been
Can you imagine this guy being not famous in testing?"
Well,
I can, but
I well, and you know what? To a very great degree, it's important for us to remember, I'm not.
Yeah.
James isn't famous either. Kem Kainer isn't famous. Jerry Weinberg isn't famous.
There is the small tribe, I guess.
It seems to be, and that makes me a little bit sad. Not that I'm not famous, but that there aren't testers who are famous within the testing community.
Yeah.
Certainly not that I'm aware of. Who am I? I don't think of myself as anybody particularly important, but there should be famous testers. Now that
like real rock stars.
Well, in a sense, yeah. But then somebody else pointed out something that's even more alarming.
Yeah.
Can you name a famous engineer?
Well, Nikola Tesla is the only one who came out of the blue sky into my mind, but I'm not sure if he's an engineer.
I think
Edison, Thomas Edison.
I think you could say that they were engineers. The name that came to my mind immediately was Dyson, James Dyson.
James Dyson,
right? The guy who
like the vacuum.
The vacuum.
Yeah, I have one at my home. It's amazing device.
I have one too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love vacuuming nowadays because
man, to see a good engineer.
Yeah.
There's how you know a good engineer. Somebody who can make vacuuming fun.
Exactly.
That's really something.
Yeah. But that wasn't a product placement for the blog.
That's right. Yeah, it's sponsored by Dyson. Then I thought of that guy, Dean Kamen.
Okay.
Right, the guy who he invented the Segway.
Yeah.
He's the guy who sponsors the first competitions.
Is he the guy who died by driving a Segway into a rift?
I don't think so.
Somebody died that way, from the organization building Segways. I'm sure.
Oh wow!
You can help us if you can comment on the video. But anyway.
Post your comments below.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No worries. But there aren't that many famous engineers. My God,
it's true.
Stephen Wozniak.
Yeah, Steve was somebody.
Was a real engineer.
Yeah.
So but it's funny how we have to stretch for that. Because, but anyway, fame isn't a big deal. I don't mind not being famous. Anyway, James asked me that, and I said...
I like the idea, not the fame is not the right word, but I like the idea of championing a cause.
Yeah, reputation, hero.
Yeah. Someone who leads an idea.
Right.
Or something leads a tribe into something greater, or something like that.
I think those are good things.
Yeah.
that it's good to have people to like. For example, I think of Jerry in particular, who we just lost.
Yep.
I think of Jerry as somebody Jerry Weinberg, as somebody who should be famous. Somebody should know about his stuff. Yeah,
I agree.
People should know about his stuff.
Yeah. Jerry Weinberg. Jerry Weinberg.
W-E-I-N-B-E-R-G.
Yeah, Google him right now. Not now, but once you've watched.
Or even now.
You can do it. You can do it now. Yeah.
Anyway, so James, I said I've been working on a testing course, and James says, "I'll tell you what, you can teach my course.
Yep.
Here's how you have to qualify for it."
I'll take the camera forward because it's getting like noisy here. Yeah. I will have to lean in. Yeah. Anyways, this is too close almost, but for the videoing purposes.
It's all right.
We can do it.
We're good. We're good.
Anyways,
So anyway, James says, you teach my course. To qualify, you have to teach it to me once.
Wow. So did you do a 3-day course to James?
Yeah, I went to James's place in Front Royal, Virginia, and James gave me the assignments, gave me the teaching assignments, and actually what happened was I went through the class with him. I didn't really teach it to him, but we talked about it a lot, and it turned out that this was a really productive working relationship. And 3 years later, he basically I brought enough exercises and enough stuff to it that he made me a co-author of the course.
Cool.
And we've been developing it together ever since.
And now it's the time for the 4.0.
4.0. Yeah.
Well, that will be amazing.
We wanted to respond to changes that have been made in the software testing business.
Yeah.
We wanted to put in some more focus on things that had lower level exercises. We brought in.
What do you mean by lower level? Is it like more under the hood of the software?
Right. Let's pop open the developer tools and have a look at what we can learn from doing that.
That's a great idea for sure.
Partly because we wanted people who come into the class without a whole ton of technical focus, because there are people who do that. We wanted to help them understand, look, this stuff is totally learnable.
Yes.
And it's totally iterative. Incremental.
Yeah, I've noticed
if you come in with nothing.
I've noticed many people have like beliefs that I'm not a coder, I don't understand coding, so that's why I cannot learn automation. And those beliefs are something that people tend to live up to. So breaking those beliefs is, I think, for testers is really important.
A gentle plunge into that water, and you'll find out that it's not too cold, right? So the exercise that we've got, we've sort of developed a product that is amenable to that, sort of friendly to it. So we're going to give people the experience of coming to the assignment on whatever level they like. Before, we've had programmers in the class who have been interested in trying to solve problems from a programmer's perspective. And we think that's fabulous. We take their work and we show it to the rest of the class. We take the work of the rest of the class, we show that to the programmers, and people learn stuff from each other, which is the way we want it to happen. So that's been lots of fun developing that stuff. And also treating it as a development project where we can very carefully watch what we're doing as we're developing the code, and look at the systematic mistakes and errors that we make, and learn from those mistakes and talk about them in the class, because mistakes are a lot more instructive than getting something right. So we've been doing that.
Wow, that's interesting.
A bunch of new exercises, a bunch of new stuff, and we're trying to open the space to teams of not just testers, but to developers and business analysts and people who are not necessarily full-time testers, and we're trying to orient the invitation and the marketing of the class in that way too.
Yeah, that's cool. In like 20 years, like pieces of art will, for example, great music, great songs, when performed, they will be polished and like amazing. And I think that this is something that has happened to the RST course. You've been doing it for 2 decades almost now, so it's like I can be sure that it's amazing already, and I want to come to see it next year. So we'll meet someplace.
Yeah.
So we probably touched on the topic already, but I had the second question. So in testing domain, what are the topics that excite you the most at the moment?
At the moment,
like the hot topics of testing for you.
I'm interested in what's the fun stuff that you can do when you go under the hood. I'm revisiting. I was a programmer sort of twice in my past careers, and I'm now kind of hankering after programming again. The trouble is, I don't like writing code from whole cloth. I really love being a maintenance programmer, which as a programmer makes me weird. Right? Most programmers are very suspicious of somebody who, what? You like fixing other people's code? I do, love it. Because that feels most like doing testing work.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got the testing mindset naturally, but I for a little bit.
It's like tinkering and experimenting and
right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't come naturally to me to build something from the beginning, from the get-go.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I've got on my radar, when in my copious free time, is to try to engage in a little bit of that and to work with some coders. It's really fun working with James because he is a coder, feels that way, really strongly technical tester. Started as an assembly language programmer.
Yeah.
I started by programming databases, right? So I started at high level stuff. But I was always fascinated by the low level stuff.
Yeah.
When I worked at Quarterdeck, the stuff that we were doing was really close to the metal, really close to the operating system, underneath it sometimes, just over top of it other times. And that was really fun because you got a sense of how fine-grained control you could have over these machines.
Yeah.
I missed the boat to a certain degree on doing the deep dive into it. There's a little bit farther in I could have gone at that time.
Yep.
And I just never did. There were other things that interested me more. I always feel like I wanted to be an assembly language programmer and never quite. I just temperamentally, I couldn't get the energy together to do it. And the other thing is, I always hate wrestling with the damn tools.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being pecked to death by ducks.
You had the awesome quote today on your talk about we build the tools. Can you?
Oh yeah, that's Marshall McLuhan, right? We shape our tools thereafter they shape us.
Thereafter they shape us. Yeah. That's an amazing quote.
Also, they screw us.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Hey, just to conclude, we have a bus to catch.
Yeah.
So just to conclude, this guy is Michael Bolton, not the singer, as you might deduct here, but you can find him by googling Michael Bolton and testing.
Add the word testing.
Yeah, and do you have some kind of a domain name or something that people can check out?
DevelopSense.com. I got a blog.
Yeah, DevelopSense.com.
Haven't been writing too much lately.
But all of the posts are amazing, so I really recommend. So this is Michael Bolton. Thank you, man. Let's give a thumbs up, and we could get a
thumbs up to you.
Yeah, to the video as well. Yeah.
So long.